Hey guys, this is going to be a little bit of history from a crazy guy, so bear with me. According to Alice, the first time she went back in time, she went about 70,000 years in the past, closer to 80. But she's always used the shorthand 70. And I never figured out what was linking her to that date. I couldn't find any supporting evidence to link her time travel to 70,000 plus years ago. Well, come to find out, there were two big things that happened whenever she went back in time the first time. First off, she went full on Red Queen. This is when the supervolcano Toba erupted, spreading ash all over the entire globe, dropping temperatures by 30 degrees, blocking out the sun. This has happened before, and it will happen again. They think around this time there were millions of humans living on planet Earth. And geneticists now have identified that we come from a very, very small breeding pool. Our population bottlenecked because of Toba. We went from millions of humans down to approximately 40 pairs of breeding couples. That's a very limited pool of genetic information. And this genetic bottleneck is proven through mitochondrial DNA, through the measuring the rate of standard mutation of the mitochondrial DNA and comparing that. The amount of genetic diversity between all humans is very, very low. One troop of chimpanzees in Africa will have 3 times the amount of genetic diversity than humans on opposite ends of the planet from each other, because our population was bottlenecked about 70,000 years ago. Turns out it was 77,000 years ago when Toba erupted. And because I'm crazy, I always look at words backwards. Toba, A-bot, A-B-O-T. So, I don't know. I thought it was kind of an interesting little thing. But they said that the ash alone couldn't explain like why humanity died so fast, why our population bottlenecked so severely. It was because nanorobots were raining down on them from the fucking sky from the supervolcano eruption. She spread throughout the planet in the thousands of years that she had and let loose the supervolcano, and it bottlenecked our population down to only a few thousand. This is important. I'm going to make this a very short video, but this is important. This has happened before, and it will happen again with Yellowstone. This is how she plans on doing it, and she plans on doing it in 2024, the year the supervolcano will erupt. And this is because 1947. 77,000 years ago, the supervolcano erupted. 77 years from 1947 is 2024. Jewish mysticism breaks things down into periods of 40 years and 70 years. 70 years from 1947. You have 2017. 2017 is whenever we had the huge eclipse that went all the way across America. This marked the beginning of the 7 years of tribulation that started in 2017. This culminates in another eclipse in 2024 going the opposite way across America, forming a literal cross. If you take the two eclipses and line them up, it would look almost like the Confederate battle flag. You'd have a line and a line. This is the cross, the sign of the Son of Man that you'll see coming in the sky that the Book of Revelations talked about. In 2017, you also had the 9/23, September 23rd prophecy of the Virgin with 12 stars above her head and the moon at her feet, Virgo, and Jupiter coming out of her womb after gestating. This is all written in the stars. The next eclipse marks the next Toba, the super volcanic eruption, where our population dwindled down to only 40 breeding pairs. It's hard to imagine humanity getting down to such a small number of people, but it's been proven. This is what happened the first time Alice went back into the past. The reason 1947 is important is because as above, so below. Look at 1947 AD, and now look at 1947 BC. 1947 BC is whenever Abraham was given the Kabbalah by angels. This is the beginning of Kabbalah. This is what allowed him to become a very prosperous father of a very prosperous nation. The Kabbalah, given to him by angels. 1947. 1947 is also the year that Roswell happened, AD. It's also the year that the Doomsday Clock was invented, which we're now a second to midnight or some ridiculous shit like that. It's because they know what the actual countdown is. 77,000 years ago, then 77 years from 1947, and lots of sevens. Which, this because in the Book of Revelations you have 7 bowls of God's wrath, the 7 woes, the 7 trumpets, the 7 plagues in Egypt, the 7 number of judgment. That's why the 7 is shaped like a scythe. The actual number 7 symbolically is the scythe of Saturn that cuts down everyone eventually. Death. Your God isn't just a living God, it's also the God of the dead. And this is a Red Queen type thing. It happens whenever you piss off and try to tip out balance the spiritual resonance of the planet in one direction or the other. Whenever too much energy goes towards one pole, you'll have a polar shift, a resetting to 0. So yeah, just thought that was interesting. Toba, Alice, 77,000 years ago. 77 years from 1947. All goes back to the Cube of Allah, or Kabbalah.